What is going on, Movie Meals? Movie Meals. Thank you, Movie Meal patrons, Kimberly, Karen. Help us get to 2,000. We're gonna pick someone who's been commenting and sharing us around. We're just gonna give you a free one because why not? We're small, but we want to support the people that do support us. So
very nice.
Join the Patreons. Go get some merch. We still have all that available. But anyway. We're here for the podcast. I think this is episode 42. It's been a little bit, really since the Oscars. I think was technically the last podcast. We decided to make the Oscars video just a podcast episode. So it has been a minute. We've been busy, been sick off and on, just a lot going on. And there also has not been a lot of news. Look, there's a lot of people who want to talk about every nerdy thing. Kyle and I used to do that, but now we've slowly, especially Kyle, so we've stopped caring. If anyone's started to care less and less, it's Kyle. He went from caring the most to caring the less. He went from taking screenshots himself, zooming in on the Amazing Spider-Man 2 trailer to see if he could find an Easter egg to I don't give a flying fladingle is what he went from. He doesn't care at all. He is post-COVID Kyle has changed drastically. So I somewhat care because I think things are still fun to chat about, but Kyle... So that's why we don't talk about every nerd little thing that comes out over the last few months. Part of the reason we haven't been filming. We are going to touch on some of the CinemaCon stuff. We're going to make Kyle talk about it. We'll see if I nix it. Kyle's got the list of everything that kind of happened. We'll give a quick little rundown. But Kyle, I'm gonna tease you here. I know we were talking about movies we may have missed. I'm gonna Kyle in 5 words. I want 5 words. I'm putting you on the spot. I want you to tell me what you thought of Love Lies Bleeding. That's the one movie we both have seen over the last little bit that we have not filmed a review for. So I want 5 words, not a positive and a negative, because I want to make this entertaining. Give me, in summary of in 5 words, what you thought of Love Lies Bleeding.
Hot, dirty, sweaty, thrilling, funny.
All right. Here's mine. Ready? Liked. Ending was kinda meh. That's my thing. Wrong. Yeah, there it is. I liked the ending. I just didn't love it. I thought there were a few things that they chose to do that I did not think fit. But anyway. All right, let's get into CinemaCon stuff, and we're starting with the popcorn buckets right now. No, we're starting with the popcorn buckets.
All right,
released, Kyle.
Fine, we have to talk about the popcorn buckets. Wait, which popcorn buckets are we talking about?
At CinemaCon, Kevin Feige, Ryan Reynolds talked about how they will also release a goofy popcorn bucket after the Dune one kind of unintentionally made so much headlines, and they've released them. You haven't seen them?
No.
I wish I could show you. Look it up, my guy. They're pretty funny. I think they're funny.
What is it, like his butt cheeks or something?
Maybe. Here, wait. I got it. Let me see. Or maybe were they fake? They couldn't. I don't know if they were fake. They might be fake, but this is what I've seen. Let's see if you can see it here. Boom.
Oh, face, mouth. So the popcorn
comes out of his mouth.
Oh, so you can put your penis somewhere in there.
That's what I've been seeing. People are saying that this might be the new popcorn bucket that they're going to come out with. I love that. That's great promotion for a movie that they're riding high on. So I think that's funny. Those are funny things. When people do this, it's funny. All right, go ahead, Kyle. And we're going to see, does Alex care or does Alex not? And then we'll see, when I nick something, does Kyle care? And why does Kyle care so deeply about that whack thing he's going to propose we talk about?
Look, I mean, for CinemaCon,
just make it funny.
No, like you're correct. You absolutely are. For CinemaCon, what I really came to realize this year was that a lot of it is people reporting back live during like the CinemaCon panels, just saying, "Oh, the trailer that they showed had some cool stuff in it." Like every single movie, there's cool stuff in the trailer.
Yeah,
and after a while, it's like,
stuff. Yeah.
If I don't see the trailer, what do you really have to? Yeah. What are you offering here?
CinemaCon has always been more just to get some hype by media who gets a chance to see stuff, because it's usually there are trailers, but there's a lot more of like, I know they showed, I think, the first 10 or 15 minutes of Planet of the Apes, and like they show parts of the movies and stuff. But like where Comic-Con is supposed to be like, all right, our trailer, here we go. Here's the big trailer. We're also going to drop one as soon as it's out. Now everyone in the world can see it, or they live stream it so everyone can see it. So it is a little bit different, but.
Yeah. I was fortunate enough to go back in 2021 for
and
work.
That's when the decline started.
Actually, partially, yeah. But it was also the year it was still the year after COVID, so that was still like a big deal. So it wasn't a lot of like media people or even like, industry people in terms of like, the CEOs or like the actors going out to promote and doing like fun, crazy bits and stuff like that. Kind of like what people were hearing with like Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds coming out on stage. It wasn't that stuff like that year I went. But it was for CinemaCon, for people that don't know, it's just an industry event hosted in Las Vegas that pretty much is to help theater owners be shown like what the upcoming product of movies is going to look like. Kind of just a bit of showboating for them, and then the media kind of just piggybacks off of them, just because they're able to get like headlines and eyes on their stuff. It was kind of interesting that year because you could tell it was a lot more theater owners that arrived at the event that year I went, and not like media people.
It was also a lot of COVID stuff was still in the works, so
yeah, that was part of it. So like I didn't get that full CinemaCon experience that like especially what's happening this year, because it seemed like it was all the way back as compared to like the last few years that we've seen. But it was cool. Like the screen room at Caesar's Palace is incredible. It is kind of exciting at the same time to like see trailers ahead of time before anyone else, but that's mostly what they are. It's not like really layered like behind the scenes stuff. It's mostly just cut trailers or featurettes that they have finalized, but they just haven't released to the public quite yet, to be honest. But it's still cool to like see footage ahead of time, or like to be able to see a movie ahead of time before everyone else. But besides that, it's just like a lot of reporting back on like, ooh, we saw some footage, it looked pretty good, hopefully the rest of the movie is. So it just opened my eyes a bit more to like what CinemaCon really is like. It's cool, there's a lot of nice stuff involved with it, but that's mainly like the summary of what CinemaCon is.
All right, so what do we got?
So as I was coming through all the headlines that were saying this trailer and this movie was good, yada yada, I did see that they announced that Now You See Me 3, it's going to bring back the original cast and combine them with a new generation of magicians. And I guess like they are actually moving forward with this movie.
Cool. First one's very fun. Second one's a little less, but still okay, fun. And hopefully this one's back to more of the first one. Yeah, sounds good to me. I mean, the cast coming back makes sense. None of them are doing much. Like and I know Kyle's seen it, but as much as Sasquatch Sunset does look wild, avant-garde, whack, interesting, and fun, I haven't seen it yet. I know Kyle has, but like it's not like we're not doing a lot these days. You might need maybe they're all like, all right, let's go grab a paycheck or something here, and maybe they just have fun. I bet you that's a fun set to be on. How they end up doing a lot of the tricks and stuff. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
I wonder if it includes Isla Fisher, because she wasn't in the second one. So I wonder if they actually bring her back.
Oh, didn't she get replaced by somebody? Was she replaced I don't think it was Alison Brie, or was Alison Brie in both? I thought Alison Brie was in both.
She was Alison Brie's in that movie? No.
I'm
thinking of Lizzie Kaplan.
Is that who I'm thinking of?
Yeah. I think Lizzie Kaplan played a different character. Wait, did she not? I don't know.
I own the first Now You See Me.
That movie's, I don't know.
Fisher.
That movie's really good.
The first one? Yeah, the first one's a lot of fun. It's a good movie.
I'm just surprised that it's warranting such an audience where like they would make money back for a third one.
John M. Chu did the second one. Nice.
It
was Lizzie Kaplan, yeah. Daniel Radcliffe was in it. I like Lizzie Kaplan.
Ruben Fleischer is supposed to be directing the third one, and
did he do the first one?
I don't remember now.
He did.
I don't know. I'm not a big Fleischer fan, but he did do a good job on the first one.
You don't like Zombieland? He didn't do the first one. He has not done any of these.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Fleischer's
Zombieland was
okay.
good.
Fleischer's okay.
Yeah,
I like trying to look at a little bit more. I liked Unicorn Store that I know he produced that. Let's see. Let me go to director.
Unicorn Store. Wasn't that Brie Larson's movie?
Yeah. Yeah, my bad. I was
The
looking
one
at
she
his
directed?
directing, or I was looking at his producing. I want to look at his directing. Is this his directing? Why is everything? No, no, come back, directors, come back. What the heck is going on, IMDb? What are you doing to me? Um, yeah, Zombieland though is good. I like Zombieland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see what
Did he do
else.
the second one?
Uncharted
The
was
second one.
fun. Uncharted was fun. He did not do the second one. John M. Chu did the second one. The second Zombieland or the second Now You See Me?
Zombieland.
He did the second one. Yeah, Venom's okay. Like they're okay. Gangster Squad was okay. Like he's made some good okay movies. That's all
Yeah,
good.
it just doesn't scream exciting to me.
Yeah, he's not super expensive to bring
No,
in
that's
either,
exactly
so.
what it is. Yeah.
And he knows Jesse Eisenberg. It may be like, oh, Jesse's like, I'm not coming in without him, because they've worked now together 3 times. Same with Woody Harrelson. Like he knows half that cast. All
That's a
right,
good
what else?
point. I forgot about that. Yeah, so moving on, another headline that I saw was that a Transformers and G.I. Joe crossover movie
Makes
is
sense.
officially happening.
Yeah, spoilers for the end of Beasts, man. That's what they tease at the end of the Rise of the Beasts. Come on, we've been waiting. I've been waiting for years.
Have you?
No. I actually liked Rise of the Beasts. I went and saw it to support Anthony Ramos because I love him. I think he's a very, very talented actor. And that movie was fun. The Transformers franchise has really had its ups and downs. But I like, it was whack and weird, but it was just big monsters fighting and, just brings the 7-year-old out of you. You just kind of turn your brain off and enjoy. The Snake Eyes G.I. Joe movie they made was actually very fun. I love that they brought in so many actors. They brought in guys from Warrior and stuff. I wish that had done better because I would love to see some of them come back and get more roles because Warrior's so good. It's on Netflix now.
Right.
Check it out. Try to save that show. Give them their final season.
Yes.
But they, yeah, I mean, this is cool. The dads are going to want to take their kids. Those type of movies need to continue to be made. Dads who are running on a nostalgic kick, who want to show their kids how cool it was when they watched an 80s, 70s crossover episode of G.I. Joe and the Transformers. Sounds great. I love it.
Yeah, I actually liked the Snake Eyes movie more than most people did. I didn't really understand how it got bashed as hard. I mean, the choreography wasn't good in that movie, I don't think. But besides that, I didn't think that movie was bad. The Transformers movie, I get what you mean. It is much more for a much younger demographic, which I think is really good. But at the same time, I thought the filmmaking in it was just so dry that it just never looked appealing. It just. But
did you see it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think I had to. Yeah, I remember reviewing it.
Oh, we reviewed it. Wow.
They all blur together. I understand. We've done this so long now. So I don't know. Just hopefully they find a filmmaker that makes the movies a bit more come to life. But otherwise, I don't know if I guess if the studio sees this crossover will work and it'll make them enough money to warrant making it, then go for it. But I don't know. Besides, I guess they are just going to be going for a younger demographic and trying to get the nostalgic dads to take them with. But otherwise, I don't know if there really is a large audience clamoring for this. I can't imagine so, but that's all right. It doesn't need to be a 4-quadrant type of event movie anyway.
Rise of the Beast made $438 million worldwide. It about doubled what it made domestically, internationally. They've always been big internationally. Makes sense.
True.
So,
all right. Yeah. Well, if they see something can work off of it.
The OG first Shia LaBeouf Transformers is a very good, fun movie. It's that Bumblebee. Bumblebee's excellent. Yeah. But anyway, what else?
I found this one strange. Edgar Wright is going to be making a Running Man remake, and Glenn Powell is going to be the star of it.
Why is that strange?
Because Edgar Wright wanting to make a Running Man remake seems like a strange choice for him. I don't know.
I disagree with you so much. It
Tell me why.
screams Edgar Wright.
You think
Because
so?
you know that he watched the original Running Man movie 500 times as a kid. He loved it, got an opportunity. He's like, man, what am I going to do next? Let's remake Running Man. That sounds awesome. Let's get it. And then Glenn Powell's a rising star since Top Gun. Anything But You was a smash success. He's a rising star, and you know that Twisters will be awesome. So
I'm so
he's a
curious by that
rising
movie.
star. Curious about what? I want to see tornadoes. I want to see people driving in the tornado trying to shut it down. That's what I want to see. If I don't see people flying, it's a bad movie. If people are flying, it's a great movie. If houses getting ripped up, great movie.
I just want to know if
there's
like,
nuance.
How much? No, I just want to know like how much of like a zeitgeist event this movie is going to be. Like, I almost wonder. Not that it's going to like reach the heights of Top Gun Maverick, but could it have like that same effect almost? I don't know. Something about this movie makes me think
I wouldn't put the original. I would put the original Twister as a cult classic. I would not put Top Gun as a cult classic. I think Top Gun is a classic movie. And so it's more well thought out, like well known. So many people love and have loved Top Gun for years. So when you do Twisters, I think the hope is that it will tug on some nostalgia strings, big stars. You know, that's it. It's not going to reach Top Gun Maverick levels. Not even close. Top Gun Maverick made $1 billion. It's not going to do that.
Gotcha. Okay. I didn't realize either that it was more of a cult classic type movie.
It's an old school great disaster movie, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm getting more and more baffled by the choices that studios are making in terms of like what to make a legacy sequel or like a remake of. Like Twister, like the Twister movie, I've heard it's a classic, but I've also now heard it's a cult classic. Like, so who are you like what's the plan for these movies, I guess? Like, what are you trying to do? Exactly.
Well,
so
I guess the big difference between a cult classic and a classic is how well it performed at the box office, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Big reason why Fight Club's a cult classic is because it didn't really hit with audience, and then it kind of became an audience hit. Let's see what it did in 1996. Oh, maybe I'm wrong here. It had a budget of $92 million, made almost $500 million worldwide.
Oh,
so
my God.
I would say I would take everything I said back. I would go towards Kyle. I would say Twister is an absolute classic movie. You put it up there with Gone with the Wind, Casablanca, Citizen Kane, Twister, right there. Those are the top 4 films in cinema.
Top 4 movies.
Never had better movies. Twister slaps. Bill Pullman all day long.
Yeah.
Bill Paxton. I didn't mean to say Bill Pullman. I apologize. It's Bill Paxton.
Right. I figured that's who you meant. Yeah. I like these decisions that Glenn Powell is kind of making for his career. I like that he's trying to find movies to where he proves his like stardom to be like the draw almost, rather than just like taking his fame and putting it into somewhere easy, like trying to find a superhero movie or something. Like, I kind of like that he wants to do like try to like build his movie stardom the old fashioned way almost. And I kind of feel like Twisters is a weirdly good match just because it feels like that type of movie that reminds you of like the classic movie going experience almost, kind of like what happened with Top Gun Maverick.
I'm gonna slightly take your point there, and I'm gonna change it a little bit. I think I would bet he had all these projects signed on, ready to go before Top Gun Maverick came out. That he was like, oh, I'm in a Twisters. Well, I mean, Top Gun Maverick was 2 years ago. I mean, this movie's about to come out. He would have been filming it 2 years ago. So he would have had to have been signed on before. And to be honest, there's not major stars. I wouldn't say there's no A-listers in this. Glenn Powell, Anthony Ramos
slander.
Love him. But and he is brilliant, but he's not quite there yet. They're starting to get some of their up and coming, but I would say Glenn Powell has lucked into it. And I think that it makes it even more old Hollywood. It's not because for a while, you can tell studios are pushing actors hard to be the next big guy. And to be honest, Glenn Powell in Top Gun isn't the big takeaway. He's the third takeaway. He's not the breakout star. It's Miles Teller and Tom Cruise all day long. But he did get recognition. What I truly think has really set him apart has been Anything But You, a massive hit. And I think that has really catapulted him and Sydney Sweeney to now where they are like, oh, I am getting an actual real audience. I'm moving from B to A-list celebrity status. And then that's when you're like, oh, we've got Twister still with Glenn Powell. Drop it. Also, it looks fun as all heck. But anyway, back to Edgar Wright. I love it. Take a niche Arnold Schwarzenegger 80s movie and let's get Edgar Wright's weird dystopian future awesomeness designs in there. Give him a budget. This sounds great. I'm sure he's giddy to do this. This seems like some Edgar Wright would love to do.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
You remind me with Sydney Sweeney. Did you see her comments about like Madam Web flopping and how it affected her?
That it opened doors for her and she's glad she was in the movie? Yeah. Excellent class, and that's how an A-list celebrity should act. And it's the truth.
Big time.
It helped her get a movie off the ground with Immaculate. So
absolutely, yeah. No, I think she's going to be a very interesting actress. Not in terms of like the project she chooses to act in, but just in terms of like what she's doing creatively outside of that, like what producing projects like she wants to work on and that sort of thing. Like I don't know, she's becoming more and more interesting as an actress, in my opinion. And I also I like the honesty from her as well. It's a better response than like, I don't know, just being like, well, we wish the fans came out and supported it, or oh, we wish it went this way, but it just didn't. Like,
well, that cast too was wild because Dakota Johnson was just bad mouthing the movie. She's like, I haven't seen it. Yeah, I don't even know what I was doing every day. I don't know what's going on. And people didn't like it. Bummer. And Sydney's like, well, it wasn't well received, but it opened some doors for me that I appreciate. And it's like, all right,
Dakota Johnson spilled the beans, so I'm just gonna admit it too.
I say make Sydney Sweeney Gwen Stacy and Spider-Man 4. Bring MJ back. Make Tom a little love triangle between Zendaya and Sydney Sweeney. Get the Euphoria crew back together.
Mm-hmm.
The memes of Tom Holland watching Challengers is so funny. It's so funny. The memes are so funny. Oh my gosh. Anyway, what's next?
Let's talk Avatar: The Last Airbender. The first Last Airbender movie that's going to be coming out is called Aang: The Last Airbender. I believe it's supposed to be him and the original characters as adults. And Dave Bautista is announced to be the voice of the villain in the movie.
Love that. Hate the fact that the only person coming back is Zuko, and Johnny Bosco, I believe, is the actor who voices Zuko, that they are not bringing back the original cast. I think that's a disgrace. I do understand they've hired some really great voice actors. They've hired a blind voice actress to play Toph, who's been doing voice work forever. I appreciate people getting those roles, but I don't understand why the voices need to change. Is it just because Aang is older? But that would make sense. And
that actor is also older now.
That's the point. Yeah. Like, and I don't really want to hear a different Sokka. I don't really want to hear a different Toph. Their voices are so part of the character they are, and I'm not sure. Like I don't know. That does rub me the wrong way. And then why pick just him to play Zuko? Why are we just doing one? Like I don't get why they went that route, and I think it's a poor decision. And I also don't know if that's 100% confirmed, but I've seen a lot of people talk about it. So I assumed it was.
I think it is confirmed. I'll try to find the voice actor that they got for Aang. So I feel like they are moving forward with a different voice cast outside of Zuko. I think Zuko is just such a fan favorite of that show that probably would get like the biggest outrage if it wasn't Bosco.
I would argue that the guy who plays Sokka is just as popular. I mean, he does more with his voice than I think anybody else in there.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't. You know me. Like I would also want that original voice cast altogether to be back. So that's frustrating for me as well. And I don't know. I didn't grow up with Avatar in real time. I saw it like at college when you showed it to me, Alex. So like I didn't have like that scene, like how the show was perceived in real time, I suppose. But it's just funny to me that like the many ups and downs I've heard about Avatar, and like there almost wasn't a season 3 of the show, but then they finally made it happen. And then Korra had its fair shares of production issues and ups and downs, and now we're seeing its success on like streaming, and they're like, we got to make shows and movies,
it
and we
is
got to get
funny.
these big...
They canceled it.
Yeah.
Korra, they really, Nickelodeon had a really hard time in Paramount with Korra and what they wanted to do, and it does hurt the show. I don't think Korra is even close to as good as Avatar. There are some things Korra does, I think, that are really good for the world, but I personally think they do a lot that ruins the world of Avatar. I'm nervous that these movies might go the same route, but it's weird. Now they've given them a whole production studio. The original creators left the Netflix series for 2 reasons, and one of them is because they were offered the position to be heads of a whole production studio at Paramount. So I don't know. It is weird. I just hope they get free creative control. Let the original guys handle it the way they want to. And I would like that. They're supposed to be doing a handful of movies. There's supposed to be an Aang one. I think there's supposed to be a Zuko looking for his mom one. I think there's supposed to be a Suki one, or not Suki, Kyoshi one. And I think they're supposed to be the next Avatar after Korra movie.
I think it's supposed to be an Earth one. I thought that was the hint they were...
Well, we know. Yeah, that's the order it goes in, right? Water, earth, fire, air. So,
yeah, that would make sense. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, yep. And that's the one we haven't seen it. We do get to see quite a bit of Roku in the original show, fire, and we get to see Korra, water. We see Aang, air. Show me an earth.
Sure.
And it's going to be Toph's great grandson or something.
Oh, I hope not. Yeah, you don't need to connect it that hard.
We'll see. I hope they don't connect it at all.
No, agreed. Yeah. Also, Dave Bautista's the villain. That's like the only good thing that I took. Yeah, the only good thing I got out of this.
Dave Bautista's awesome.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah. What's next?
Yeah, I'll skip that one.
No, I want to hear it.
All right, it's about the Mufasa movie. They showed a bit of footage of it out in CinemaCon, but they also brought out Barry Jenkins.
Yeah, I heard this.
Who is writing and directing this. And he gave a pretty wordy explanation. I won't say the whole thing here, but he said like he admits like it was a strange decision for him to like come on board for this like Mufasa prequel movie or whatever. But he also said at the end of the day, I'm going to consider it like one of the best decisions I've made in my life, something along those lines. And
yeah, he opened up a little bit though about it. He had talked about how like through the process of making the movie that he didn't think that he was questioning when he first took it because I know I read the quotes and I kind of took away that he was like through the process of making this movie, I have really come to love and be really proud of the movie. And it makes me think that it just, I mean, did he write the script for it?
I'll double check that.
Did he also write it?
I think he probably did.
Barry Jenkins.
Seems like you got to it quicker than I did. I would think he probably has some writing credit on it.
Moonlight's amazing. I think if Beale Street Could Talk was like it wasn't as good as Moonlight. It's good, but it's not the best thing I've ever seen.
Still a strong movie, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's very good. It's just not the best. He did not write it.
Interesting.
One writer was Jeff Nathanson, who worked on Speed 2, Catch Me If You Can, Rush Hour 3, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tale. He wrote the first live-action Lion King screenplay. He wrote Tower Heist. He wrote characters for Lego Indiana Jones 2, The Adventure Continues, the video game. Heck yeah. He also came up with the story for Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So there's some good and there's some bad in here.
It's a writer's credentials. It's all over the place. You just don't know.
Yeah, but I hope. I mean, this is a movie we don't need. Especially when Treasure Planet's right there. Like, if you're gonna do live action, give me a live action Treasure Planet and Atlantis. I don't get it. Why are you taking the two best movies you got really to make a live action, and instead you're doing a Mufasa live action digitally CGI story prequel. I don't get it.
I think those early 2000s movies scare off Disney, no matter who is at the head of it. I think
Well, Treasure
because
Planet had a
those,
lot of hate around it too during its
yeah,
original production. So
there was a lot of production issues. I think same went for um, Atlantis as well.
I say grow
And
a
yeah,
pair
it
of
just
balls and make an actually good, great live action movie. And I've liked a handful of their live action movies. They actually have made, I think, more hits than misses. But still,
just watch
we
if
don't
they
need
did
this.
make like a live action um, movie of Atlantis and Treasure Planet, like there would be so much success that they would make like studios out of them. They would make theme park rides, and they would get like
Yeah.
it would be the Avatar thing all over again.
Take
Like,
me
oh,
to Atlantis.
yeah, turns out we've been on gold mines this whole time. It's just 20 years too late, but we
Also,
finally
just make
figured
like
it
an
out.
original movie, Disney. Like, what are you doing?
No, yeah,
Oh, wait,
what
they do that. They just do it over at now Fox, and they just don't make it seem like it's them.
they're so weird when it comes to branding. Like I'll never
Yeah.
like funny enough, they finally did put like Hulu and Fox stuff on Disney Plus or whatever, but
Oh, yeah,
they're
we're gonna have
just
one app
so
by the end
they're
of the
just
year.
so yeah, that makes sense. But they're just so brand driven, like they're afraid that like parents who see a 20th Century Fox movie is going to be like, "Wait, I thought this was supposed to be for children because it's Disney." When it's like no one thinks
I
like
also
that.
just think I agree with you, but I would add that there's also a lot of legacy behind the 20th Century Fox logo and the name. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that alone still sells very well. And I think
You would
it
think,
doesn't,
yeah.
you don't need to, change it. It's a very, I think it was very convenient for Disney to be like, oh, this would actually work. We can make more, less stuff that's part of our Disney brand. And we just put it over on that Fox logo because people already love that logo. And, it's a known logo. It's a reputable logo in the film world. So I think that just kind of lucked out into it. But
I just think they're still trying to figure it out. Like if it's not an IP like Alien or Planet of the Apes, I still think like they have a hard time realizing that it's okay to make movies for adults, even though like you're Disney and you're like overall in charge of making those said movies. But um, they just need to figure out that audiences don't think that way. They understand that a movie is for some audiences and not for like children. At least I hope so.
yeah,
So that's just my gripe with it. Like they need to they're not going to, but they need to like relax in terms of like we're Disney, and if anyone knew that we made something not for children, people would lose their minds.
I agree with you. But I do think that the reaction that Disney only does that is a little overblown by fans. I do think it's a
Okay,
little bit overblown. I think we all need to take a step back. You're going to make more money getting children and families in seats than you are by making a hard drama. Like that's just makes
mm-hmm.
sense.
Yeah,
But anyway, let's move on. What's next? Barry Jenkins. Hopefully it's good. Love Barry. Hopefully Disney gives him a blank check for the next movie. So
oh my god, yeah. I hope it's a fat check. It has to be. Like, there's no way. Um, Another thing that I saw was that Paramount announced that they are going to make a live action R-rated Ninja Turtles movie based on its most popular story, The Last Ronin. What a stupid thing to
sounds
do.
cool. I think it sounds cool. Sounds fun. Kyle hates fun now. If it's not avant garde, get it out. Give me
I
a 50s drama any day of the week. I hope it's
I
good.
just
I mean, I'm not biting at the chops for it, but I have
right.
nostalgia for the old live action ones. I hope they don't go CGI. Build a nice suit. Come on. Like
Right.
that would be cool. I want to see who is the one left in that. Is it Leo or is it Raphael?
It's a mystery in the story until the end, but I think do you want me to
Spoiler.
tell you?
Yeah,
I
spoiler.
think it's Mikey. I think
Heck
it is.
yeah, that sounds cool. Ninja Turtles are awesome, man. Kids will be like, I want to go see it, and parents will be like, no, it's not Disney. But hey, I'm not sitting here being like, oh great, you're gonna need a trailer to get me in, but I don't. That's the sound. It's cool. I want to see one of them going full bloodbath, old school original comics. That's awesome. I mean, yeah, cool. Sounds cool. Hopefully, it's
I
good.
don't know. I mean, like you already made PG-13 movies of Ninja Turtles, which were for kids, kind of, but I don't know. I'd say they're more for teens. They have a bit more of an edge to them, in my opinion. But
I
like,
would
it
say
wasn't like
from 10 up, 10 years old
it.
and up.
Sure, I think that's a fair way to. Yeah, I think that's the right way to put it. but it wasn't like those movies were like they
They
were
weren't very
fine
good.
hits, but they weren't well
No, they weren't
quality
good.
wise they weren't good. But like box office wise, they did fine, but not great. Like they clearly stopped making those and pivoted towards animated stuff for a reason, you know? So I just don't understand why they think to spend the money on an R-rated Ninja Turtles movie. Like who like that's for like some older fans, but I just don't see like the return on that being worth it to make that movie.
Well, I also think that movie, you can make a Ninja Turtles movie today. They can make this movie, and it doesn't have to get over $100 million to make it. They can make that movie very easily for less than that and maybe get a
Sure,
bigger
yeah,
return because of it.
but I think they know that I don't know. I feel like Ninja Turtles, like, I'm not saying it needs to make hundreds of millions of dollars, but I also think it can do better than like what an R-rated small budget movie would otherwise. You know, like I just
Sure.
don't see like why spend that much time and effort, which is stupid. Like I hate sounding like I'm trying to come at it from a business point of view because at the end of the day, I also want to see a good movie. If they make this a good movie, fine, who cares? But at the same time, I just don't know why like we're trying to like find these pockets to like make these types of movies where it doesn't really seem worth it for like anyone except for like the few Ninja Turtle fans that probably have actually read the book because I doubt majority of Ninja Turtle fans they watch stuff. I don't know if they really read
Funny
the
enough,
stuff.
I was texting Kyle. We found a local comic book shop here yesterday, and
Mm-hmm.
there were so many comics I walked around. I mean, it's a small store, but they had a lot. And so I walked
Yeah.
around 3 times and still didn't get to see nearly enough. But I did, out of the corner of my eye, see a copy of like the first, a new version, nice, the
Yeah.
first handful of issues or whatever. I don't remember what you call like put them all together in a collection type of thing. Maybe I might go pick that bad boy up.
It's what
Let me.
I've been collecting more books lately, and that's one I'm actually thinking about collecting myself. Like I don't love Ninja Turtles. I like them, but you know, it's good to know like their origin and like how they were conceived, and I like that history stuff about it. So that might be something I pick up too.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Kyle.
Sure.
If who's making Paramount, right? They own it's Nickelodeon and stuff that owns it, right? And Teenage
Yeah,
Mutant Ninja
yeah,
Paramount.
think
Let
so.
me ask you
Hmm.
this: if Paramount came out at CinemaCon and said, "We have a great idea for a new movie. It's about a samurai in more of a modern day time who's on a
Hmm.
revenge tale."
Hmm.
Does that move the needle at all? Are you like, "Ooh, that could be interesting"? Is it just the fact
Uh,
that he's a turtle? You got something against turtles?
you're right. I actually hate Ninja Turtles. That's what it is. Yeah, that
But
sounds
I'm
like
genuine. Would that move the needle for you? An R-rated, hard Paramount movie of a samurai in today's, and maybe it's not in today's time. Maybe they will put it back in the 90s or something. But like on a revenge quest, does that not sound
yeah.
cool?
I like samurai movies. It sounds cool.
So it really is just the fact that it's a turtle under the hood. That's what does it for Kyle.
I
At the end
just
of the
don't
day.
I just don't understand why they're going that niche with like doing a Ninja Turtles thing when you're gonna be set with like making the animated stuff. I don't know, like the R rating of it, basing it off like one of their stories. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure. I don't know. I'll probably be wrong. I'm sure it'll do fine, but I just don't understand why do that to begin with. Like, I just don't. I think you're getting a smaller size of pie for what you want, like Ninja Turtles to be for you.
Sure. Um, so I'm actually looking at it real quick. So they don't have a director, but they do have a writer and a producer.
Okay.
The writer is Tyler Burton Smith, who co-wrote the upcoming R-rated movie Boy Kills World, and who wrote
Mm.
the 2019 iteration of Chucky. Um, and let's see, Walter Hammond is the director, is producing. He's the former head of DC Films. Is this guy Hamada? Is how you say it. My
Oh,
apologies,
he has a
Walter
job.
Hamada. Where he oversaw Warner Bros. Division's horror movies, including the Conjuring and It franchise. So he's a horror
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
They don't have a director. I wonder, and I'm going to say this, even though it might very well probably isn't true on this, but I do want to point out because I think that's interesting. Sometimes we forget like it's not always the studio. The studio might come out. I'm just going to use this as an example. The
Sure.
studio comes out at CinemaCon and says, we're going to make a Ronin the live action, dark R-rated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. And the narrative is why, and I'm just kind of, this isn't a shot or anything. So if it sounds like that, I apologize, but it's because it's not, but it's like, we do think like, why are they making that? Why would a producer sit down and go, let's do this? But we do forget, because these stories don't always get told. Maybe this writer walked into the room and said, I got a great pitch. And he pitched this movie and he's like, I think this would work. And he really sells it and he's got passion in it. And the studio's like, dang, yeah, let's go for it. You never know. A director can do that as well, coming in and saying, I've got a great, that's literally how The Mandalorian came about. Jon Favreau walked into the office and was like, I've got a great idea for a Star Wars project. And he pitched it. And they were like, wow, we can tell the passion and the story sounds great. And we love how you're handling it. Let's do it. You never know. And a lot of the times we hear the Jon Favreau story, but a lot of times we don't. We don't hear the story of if it was a great pitch. And maybe this is just Walter in a room being like, let's make a Ronin movie. I like those turtles. But maybe they have a lot of passion behind it. And hey, if he was he the head of Disney or Warner Brothers, like the whole creative side at some point?
Or just, jeez, I don't remember.
I don't think he was. The name didn't sound familiar enough to me. But if he was in part of Warner Brothers horror, and he worked with them before Zazzy Boy came in and got rid of a bunch of people, if he was in charge of that's a good producer. Warner Brothers has been doing very well in the horror game for the last handful of years.
Yeah, true.
So that helps. But anyway, we got to wrap this up here soon, but we got enough time. What's a couple more you got for me?
Actually, that was the last one that I found interesting, to be honest.
Well, that means you just don't care about any of the other Marvel or DC stuff or anything like that.
Oh, true, clearly. I did see speaking of Marvel, I did see a lot of journalists freaking out because I think Feige dropped an F-bomb for the first time in his life or whatever. And they were like, Feige said the F word. He said the F word on stage. And I'm like,
bet he does all the time.
I know. I'm like, take it easy, guys. What are we doing here?
I love it. It's for Deadpool, baby.
I know. He's so excited for Deadpool, apparently.
Well, the narrative is that Deadpool is literally going to save Marvel. That's the narrative the media has come up with and the fans have come up with. And maybe it's true. If it looks like they're doing Deadpool kills the Marvel universe, if that is what they're doing, I've been saying it for almost 10 years, that is the best way to fix any of this. And that would be a great story. I hope Deadpool's awesome. His first two are great. But anyway, what were you going to say?
I was going to mention that I saw that Monarch Legacy of Monsters has been renewed for season 2. That happened like 2 days ago that they finally announced that.
Didn't one of the stars come out though and say news to me or something?
I mean, it probably could have been news to them. I doubt that they get many calls saying, "Here's a heads up, we're announcing season 2."
Well, the show I heard was very popular. It was one of the more popular shows in recent memory. The show was very good. I loved the first season. I thought it was awesome. It didn't connect really to the movies at all. And I'm here for it.
Yeah, that's true. I saw the whole thing on an airplane when I was vacationing a few months ago. It honestly was a smart move. I was able to really enjoy the show because of it. But that's just the thing with like this whole MonsterVerse thing. Like, yes, there's a quote unquote MonsterVerse. Do they connect based on the Monarch name? Sure, but otherwise, I don't really care.
And they don't either because they don't really connect them. None of the characters are really connected to each other. Not a single Monarch character from the show is talked about, mentioned, or involved in the movies.
Yeah. No, it absolutely does not matter. But it still is a solid show. I really liked the whole.
It was very good.
Family timeline of them experiencing like these monsters and like how there's more monsters progressing as like they've been trying to fix everything.
Yeah. If you want more Godzilla -1, it's right there on Apple called Monarch. That is the closest thing that we are making in the West to get to that level of character and development and nuance. It's that show. If you want to watch giant monsters beat the crap out of each other, go watch these movies. And I'm with you. I'll be right there. I love it. I love it. I love when King Kong's picking up little Kongs. He's throwing them around. He's hitting people with it. I love it. It's awesome. It's a good time.
Wait, did we do a review for Godzilla versus Kong?
No, but I
Or
don't
Goz-
need to talk to you about it. It's just not fun. You just
Yeah,
suck
it's
the
not.
joy out of it.
It's not.
It's just big monsters fighting. What did you want? What'd you walk in wanting?
More of a story, like -1. Let me feel something.
So you saw Godzilla -1, and you're like, every Godzilla movie has to be this movie now? That's ridiculous.
I know they're not going to be, but I prefer it over the latter.
And next time, don't go watch Godzilla -1 instead.
I thought we were
walking in. This is the review I wrote on Letterbox. So if a kid's watching, I'd plug your ears, even though there's nothing really vulgar. But walking into any of the movies we're making in the West, Godzilla movies, walking into them, and walking in with certain expectations, walking out disappointed, is like walking into a strip club and leaving disappointed she didn't come home with you. That's the exact same thing. That's Kyle went home. Kyle walked into a strip club and he walked out bummed out. Why didn't she? She kept saying she liked me. I thought we would. I wanted to bring her home. That's what Kyle went in with. I'm paying to see giant monsters duke it out on a giant field or on Earth, somewhere on Earth, in Earth, doesn't matter. That's what I paid money to see. It was fun. I love it. I love fun, dumb, disaster horror, action movies. They're awesome, man. You got to have those. If you don't have those, and we're only left with dark, deep cinema will cease to exist, and it won't be fun.
Right.
So,
fair enough.
Anything else, pal?
Nah, that's all I got.
All right. You know what? I'm going to say one more thing on Godzilla. I will tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
We went on a Saturday afternoon, pretty much packed house, not sold out, but a lot of people. I mean, good 75% full. Handful of kids. I'm not a fan of talking, screaming in movies, but I am a fan of the experience collectively hitting people. Yeah. The handful of little boys every now and then that were like, yeah, get them. And they were like little kids. They were like 5, 6, 7, and they were into it. I was like, this is why. I love it. I love it. There was a grandma and her son, probably like 5 or 6 years old, next to me. And when it got up, she was like, did you like it? And he was like, he couldn't even talk. He was like starstruck seeing Godzilla. He was like, uh-huh. I heard grandma say, well, these are your favorite things, Godzilla and King Kong. And I was like, this kid knows how to like products, okay? He makes good choices. We got to introduce him to the Power Rangers ASAP, and he's going to be in heaven.
I'll fight it.
All right, anyway.
That does warm my heart for the future generations to enjoy and experience movies. I'll give it that. If that's the ticket to get them in, so be it.
All right, guys. What did you think of everything we talked about? Comment below. Let us know. Remember to like, subscribe, share, get a hoodie. Thank you to my patrons. And as always, thanks for watching, Mom.
See you guys.